These are the top 11 reasons we don't have UFO disclosure, at least in my opinion. Hi, I'm Patrick. This is Vetted. Let's jump in. Hello, Vetters. If you haven't already, hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, comment down below what you think, some reasons I missed, right, about UFO disclosure here. What you agree with, what you don't. I'm sure there's going to be lots of comments on this one that I look forward to reading. And of course, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hope you enjoyed that video I put out yesterday, that special edition of David Grush compilation. I didn't get the kind of love I thought it would, but whatever. It was worth it. Anyway, let's go. Let's jump in here. So my first one, again, this is all just my opinion. All right, so this is just, and this is in no particular order. All right, so it's not like one is more effective than the other. I don't know. All right, so first one. National security. So you often hear people say, you know, national security. That's why we can't release the information. National security, national security. And you hear it private and public, meaning you hear it from the government, people within the government, but you also hear it from, you know, journalists or independent researchers, UFO researchers, right? As that being an excuse as well, like that's okay. And that's what their sources tell them, right? And let's be real. There is a legitimate aspect to that, okay? We can't just know everything. I mean, I know we would like to, oddly, but it's humanity and we're not the only country on this planet. And we do have adversaries, whether we want to admit it or not. And we have allies. And they're just going to be aspects that, you know, we can't know because of national security. So as much as I don't like it, it does make sense to some extent. Now, with that said, disclosure can be broken up into two parts, meaning we can have absolute disclosure and just like, you know, the basic disclosure, meaning, you know, okay, aliens are real. We have a craft. We have bodies. Maybe here's a quick couple pictures, but you don't get all the details. You don't get the, know all the results of everything and this, that, and the other, but just confirmation that we're not alone. I think that's really what we want to know, right? More than anything. Of course, the cases and this and that, they can whatever, but more than anything, people just want confirmation, right? So national security. All right. Number two, fear. Okay. Fear of retribution, fear of jail, even death, right? From whistleblowers, people coming out who are just like, I can't just say everything, I'm going to stay anonymous because I don't want anything to happen to me. And let's be real, things do happen. David Grush testified before Congress under oath, right? That steps were taken against him in retaliation for the investigation, of looking into the UFO legacy programs, right? So there, and more other people too, right? So Lou Elizondo, right? People that have filed official complaints, right? So I get that, right? And so then people, right? What can they say, right? They're like, oh, it's classified. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that, right? Like, why? Because they don't want to go to jail. Right? So there are secrets that people have that they won't tell us because of jail and death. So that is standing in the way. Whether I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying that is the truth. That is standing in the way. That's something we have to accept, right? So it's disclosure, but not with that, right? This is, as we go through this list, y'all, you're going to have to ask yourself, how far are you willing to go to get that disclosure at the expense of something happening to you or to other people that's like, well, it's not me. So F them, let's, give up your life so that I can have this information. Right. Or, right. How far are we willing to go? And that's the thing. People are going to be on different levels. So people are going to fight for different parts of disclosure. Right. So, but again, I do get it. All right, let's move on. Next one, money. Again, I could talk about each of these for a long time, but just to get through it quicker for the video. Money. So money in the sense of like aerospace, right? Money that they're thinking they could get from reverse engineering this stuff, right? So money is keeping them from wanting to disclose it, right? Because then other aerospace companies would find out about it. Shit, now I got to give it to them. What if other companies, right? If it was made public, other companies come out with it, it gets in the stock market. Imagine you've got like alien stuff on the stock market, right? Like, and not just money from aerospace, grifters who are out there making money off of this, right? Diluting the pool of information and data, right? The government wanting to make money off of this, right? So money, I mean, a lot of it does come back to money, which brings me to the next point. And again, please tell me in the comments, expand further on each of these points, because there's a lot to get into. But the next one, grifters, folks with fake stories, right? Believe it or not, there are people out there telling fake stories. They literally just made it up. Why they made it up, I don't know. But statistically, they can't all be real. And they're not. You can tell some people just BSing. Why? Do they think that, well, I think the phenomena is real, so I'm going to lie to help it? Do they think their lie helps, like it's for the better good? Or they just want to be a part of something? Or did they have an experience, but they've just conflated it and expanded it in their mind over time, and then it's just become real, right? Or they knowingly just made it up and just want the attention. Or they're part of a psyop. They've been hired to do it, as a paid actor for the government, right? Like, I don't know, but there are people out there, right? There's researchers as well out there, even content creators like myself, who are pushing information, right, that they know is fake or knowingly could be fake. Now, one thing is to just report on something like we do here at Vetted. Another thing is to say, no, this is real. This is my source told me. That's why you never hear on Vetted, my source told me, because I don't have sources. I don't want sources. I'm not into that. Okay. I don't want, because I'm telling y'all, I see them out there, other creators out there with podcasts and whatever. I know what happens behind the scenes. They're getting fed information, fake information, because those same people reach out to me with stuff and tell you stuff. And I have to tell them, hey, don't tell me stuff. I don't want to know stuff in private. And I think, man, that means you told these other people, because I can see that information going out. So look, it definitely happens. So you got to be careful, of who's out there and what they're telling. And there is a lot of fakeness out there. And we have to be careful, y'all. So politics, number 5. All right. Politics in the sense of politicians, the red tape, right? Everything that can get in the way of it coming out. Let's say the government said, yep, let's do it. There's a lot of actual steps to take for that disclosure to happen to us. And again, the disclosure's in levels, right? Basic disclosure and full-blown disclosure, and like how far do you go down the disclosure line of, right? So there's a lot of paperwork, just a lot of red tape. And then you just have politicians grasping onto this, right? Either good or bad, if they're paid by aerospace companies, or they just think, oh, I can get some of the UFO community to vote for me. So if I say I'm into this, they'll support me. Really, I don't care. We got to be wary, right? So there are politicians, and I'm sure there's been politicians involved in the government with this cover up, right? Let's be real. I'm sure over the course of time, this has happened. I mean, they've said presidents have been involved, right? And down. So that has gotten in the way. So, all right, number 6, you've heard this a lot, ontological shock, right? You hear that. Society will collapse. That's why we can't know. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast. We deserve to know. Humanity deserves to know. At least basic disclosure, right, of it. Society will handle it. We've handled a lot of truths. We deserve to know. And again, we deserve to know regardless of how humanity handles it. That's not up for any group of people to decide for the rest of humanity, how we handle it. It handles the way it handles. And that's just it. You know, if you're going to lie about it and then it comes out, well, that's even worse. Trust me. If they would have already told us, society, we've had generations to get over it and for it to be part of our life by now, right? So anyway, yeah, I just don't buy that. Society collapse. And then maybe there's some things that would happen, but at the end of the day, nobody can truly know. And I personally just don't believe that. I think that's another fear tactic to keep it, but who knows? Is it a possibility? Yeah. And there's different levels to that, right? Different countries maybe, would handle it differently, different people, different cultures, right? Religious views. I mean, how far financially off are you? How does it if disclosure happens on Tuesday morning, right, over breakfast, how does that change your Tuesday lunch? Probably not very much. Or Friday evening dinner plans that you had with your friends. Probably not very much, right? So unless it just changes day-to-day life, I don't see how society collapses. Ideas, those are out there all the time. People argue over that stuff all the time. So anyway, all right, next one. Number 7, media. That includes independent, legacy and independent, because in my opinion, independent media is more likely to be duped. Legacy media is more likely to set up a deal and knowingly be duped, right? Because independent media, a lot of people are just trying to make it and trying to get there. They want to get that interview. They want to have that friendship, that connection within the community. So they'll get messages that say, hey, I'm telling you this in private, blah, blah, blah. Don't tell anybody. I don't want it publicly shared, right? That sort of stuff. Get you in on the secret. And independent media, we have this thing like, yeah, YouTube, independent media, that's where it's at. That's where you get the truth. Hey, be careful. That's also where you can get easily duped because people are just they don't have the resources like a big legacy media company to vet certain stuff. And look, again, that's why we don't go with I just report stuff, articles, videos, and we talk about it. I'm your everyday person looking at this stuff, right? Because that kind of stuff, those kind of resources to really look in, it's almost impossible with this too. All right, let's be real. So you just got to be careful with independent media and legacy media as well, right? It's hard to know what to trust almost, it just is. And so is media part of UFO disclosure getting in the way? Absolutely. Absolutely, that has gotten in the way. And it has been manipulated, right? Whether it be making it more of a stigma over time, laughable, right? To bring up UFOs and aliens, and right? You know what I'm saying? So, and again, just independent media being easily duped into just relaying anything, having anybody on their podcast. Those people say things and then it gets taken as the truth, fact. So, all right, next one. This is going to be interesting. Number 8, the UFO community, us. I mean, let's be real. To some extent, we are to blame. Maybe not directly, indirectly, right? I'm not saying anybody on purpose. I'm sure there are some people, but just people accepting things right away, right? The same way an extreme skeptic just doesn't accept anything. Well, there are extreme believers who just accept everything. And believe it or not, that is going to affect the UFO community, right? It can be perceived as completely gullible, right? Any video, any photo that comes out, any story you hear, it just, believed. Taken as truth, right? Added to the well of knowledge. And that can affect us. The infighting, the drama. Y'all, I see so much on Twitter. Don't worry, I'll never cover it on Vetted. If I can make a video about it, I just don't care. For 2 seconds, I thought about it, and I thought, wait a second, who cares about that stuff? Let those people argue and fight and, over stuff. It's just so weird, to be honest with you. I stay out of all that. I recommend you do too. But it does affect the community, right? It can put a stain on it, right? And there's just a lot of infighting. People can have an opinion. I see it in our comments sometime, a lot on Reddit for sure. Reddit, who you just can't even trust who's commenting, if they're real people or bots or not. You just don't even know. And you see on YouTube, you just see some things, right? If someone gives an opinion, people just clamp on. Or someone will say, oh, this person is that, and anyone who believes them is an idiot. Why not just leave it at the first part? Your opinion of that person. Why do you have to go and then say, well, anybody who else thinks that is also an it, right? People want to think for other people and speak for them, right? So, and that just hurts this community. It just does. It becomes easy to infiltrate. And then people want to do it, to laugh at the UFO community, to fake it, right? Hoax. Name other communities that people try to hoax. Right? The sports community. Do you see people trying to hoax sports videos? No. Right? But people can't wait to hoax a UFO video. So, yeah, we got to have our guard up at the same time. And there's, so anyway, I don't know. Can't wait to read the comments on this one. Number 9, sources. All right. This could be a hot take. Oh, let me crack my neck for that one. I don't know. Look. Anonymous sources, right? You always hear that, anonymous sources. That is such a double sword, y'all. Because sources are the ones, by remaining anonymous, are able to feed BS information to all these, small-time podcast hosts and content creators in the UFO community. I'm one of them. Again, people have tried to do that to me. I shoot it all down, y'all, because I don't want any of it. Don't want information. And being anonymous, right? It's just hard to hold your feet to the fire. Just is hard to verify. And then people say, well, journalists have to have anonymous sources. Patrick, don't you get it? That's how journalists, I get all that. I understand the concept of anonymous sources and whistleblowing. Like, I get it. But I'm just saying, you have to admit, it's also a double-edged sword that is in the way of UFO disclosure. Because of all these sources that were anonymous, from all these reporters and all these reports that have come out, right, that are firsthand witnesses, if they were all made public, wouldn't this be a lot easier to disclose? Right? So, and I think some reporters who are in independent media use that as a way, right, to report misleading information. And we don't know what they're being fed. We don't know how they vet that information. It's just, trust me, bro. Right? And then you just start to become friendly with that reporter online on Twitter. And now if they tweet something out, you just take it as gospel. So anonymous sources is tough, man. And I see people getting used by anonymous sources and they don't even see it. Either they're completely gullible and just not smart, or they're in on it too. They know it's fake and they're going to share it anyway. Right? So why? So it's out there, dude. I'll be honest. I'm starting to see on Twitter, I'm catching up who to trust and who not from their sources. There's, you know what I mean? I can see their tweets and go, yep, nothing they say. I'm going to tell you right now, the pool of who you can trust is getting smaller. It is. But if you pay attention, you can see it. Now, people are odd. People who just hide their face and they're anonymous. I mean, you have people that are anonymous on podcasts, won't even show their face on the podcast and just saying stuff and tweeting stuff. And like, people are just taking, I don't get it. Anyway, so I don't know. I know it's a hot take. Some people did not like that the last time I mentioned it in a video, but I'm just saying, anonymous sources, we're going to have to start saying no more anonymous. Either come public or we can't use you. I'm sorry. And when you're and I get it. You want a fear of retribution and fear of okay, no problem. But we can't use you. That way maybe we can narrow down, okay, what's verifiable? No more anonymous sources. You have to come testify under oath, swear under oath. That's the only people of information we'll accept for now. We can keep the other people on the back burner. And when they're ready, they can come in. Just saying. I don't know. It's an idea. All right, number 10, gatekeepers. The actual people who are running these UFO crash retrieval reverse engineering programs, right? In the government and, contractors, defense contractor, they literally are keeping us from disclosure by potentially, allegedly having murdered, right? Being deceptive, manipulated people over the years, committed crimes to keep it a secret, right? Blackmail, clandestine black budget, stealing money from the government, taxpayer money, right? I mean, those people literally have kept us from disclosure. Let's be real. That is the truth. So, all right, the last one, y'all, number 11. I mean, it's just, again, these are in no particular order. I'm not saying any of these are all the way true. I'm just saying they're possibilities that we have to consider. And this is one also. Number 11. There's nothing to disclose. There aren't any UFOs. There aren't any aliens. It was all a psyop, you know, or just a bunch of delusional people in the government over the course of decades who all lied and made it up. Now, how likely do I think that is? Not very likely. That, honestly, of all the explanations, that seems the least likely to me. But could there be nothing and it was a psyop by our government to protect our advanced technology? Yes, of course, that is a possibility. And that's why we haven't had UFO disclosure, because there's nothing to disclose. And all of it's a show. It's all the Wizard of Oz. Behind that curtain, it is just a man. You know. Do I believe that? No. I do think we got something. I don't think it's as much as people have said. Right? I think just a sliver of the truth is out there. A sliver. And it is hard to go through all of this. So anyway, I can't wait to read all the comments, all the other reasons you think we don't have UFO disclosure. You know. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry it was a long one. Appreciate it, y'all. We got New Year's coming up tomorrow and a new video. So we'll see you guys next time on another video of Vetted. I'm Patrick. Be safe out there, y'all. Gosh, yeah. All right. Can't wait to read the comments, y'all. All right. We'll see you on the next video. Remember, every day's a gift. Peace, y'all.